Infinity. The Dying Guy just closed off our entrance to the composer.
What's up, MetaNerdz? In this video we'll be breaking down the Poseidon-class using every resource available. It was deployed by the UNSC Navy post the Human Covenant War, and represents an evolution in naval warfare technology and strategic deployment. Martian Metals, a company with a rich history dating back to 2520 with the launch of the Galactic-class transport, spearheaded the development of this Poseidon-class. It was introduced in 2553, right after the war with the Covenant, less than a year after the official end of the war. It was a strategic move by Martian Metals to address the changing needs of the UNSC Navy in a new era of space warfare. Despite its classification as a light carrier, its size and mass are indicative of significant operational capabilities. Fusion drive, a staple in human spacecraft propulsion, serves as the primary sublight propulsion system for the Poseidon. It's powered by fusion reactors using deuterium reactions, not only providing the necessary thrust for maneuvering in space, but also generating the power needed for the ship's various systems. This fusion drive exemplifies the advancements in human technology, especially in terms of miniaturization and efficiency. This miniaturization of fusion tech is also seen in the UNSC's use of compact fusion reactors and other applications, like the Mjolnir armor, which had a microfusion plant capable of powering the suit for 15 years. By having this tech in your light carrier, you could rapidly recharge equipment like the D-77TC Pelican's energy cells, and the UNSC Army and Air Force utilized air transportable fusion reactor generators, like the MEP-PU 2550DE generators, which worked as mobile power stations. Though these reactors required xenotime, a critical ore underlying the strategic importance of resource acquisition and maintaining technological superiority in the galaxy. In contrast, the Covenant employs pinch fusion reactors to power their starships and machinery. This different approach to fusion tech highlights a diverse engineering philosophies. Here, the plasma generated is compressed and heated by pinched magnetic fields, a concept known as a Binet pinch, named after Willard Harrison Binet. This phenomenon involves the compression of an electrically conducting filament, typically plasma, though it could also be in solid or liquid metal form, but always being compressed or pinched by that magnetic force. This was the first type of device used for experiments in controlled nuclear fusion power, and does occur naturally in various phenomena such as lightning bolts, planetary auroras, and solar flares. But back to the Poseidon, the flexibility of this ship's power systems allows for the redistribution of energy output as needed. Non-essential systems can be made inert or disconnected to funnel power to critical systems like armaments or propulsion. This capability is crucial in battle scenarios, where prioritizing weapon systems or maneuverability can be the difference between victory and defeat. Interestingly, the reactors used in the Poseidon-class, while advanced by human standards, are considered relatively primitive compared to Covenant tech. They also carry a degree of risk due to their volatility. If the reactor's cooling systems fail, or if they are pushed beyond their maximum heat loads, they can fail explosively. In extreme cases, the reactor failures can unleash energy comparable to a small supernova, highlighting the need for stringent safety measures and maintenance protocols.
To initiate an overload of the ship's fusion engines. The explosion should damage enough systems below it to destroy the ring.
For perspective, each reactor on the Covenant's unyielding Hierophant was capable of generating 512 terawatts, demonstrating the immense power output these reactors are designed to handle. And turning to its armament, let's start with the Mark 2551 Onager turrets. It has two of them, a testament to the UNSC's continued innovation in armament tech. These are most famous for their use on the UNSC Infinity, a post-war prototype flagship. During the battle at the Forerunner Shield Ward Requiem in 2557, the effectiveness of these turrets was demonstrated, despite initial setbacks due to jamming by Jul Madama's Covenant forces. Once operational, the Onager turrets played a crucial role in repelling the Didac and his forces. ONI's Ivanov station near Installation 03 utilized automated Mark 2551s, and they would provide critical cover fire against the Didac, showing that they were used on both offense and defense. And then we have a pair of M42 Archer missile pods. Archers are known for their versatility, adaptability, and long-range capabilities, making them a staple in the UNSC arsenal throughout various conflicts, including the Insurrection, the Human Covenant War, and the post-war period. While individual Archer missiles have limitations in terms of destructive power and a vulnerability to point defense systems, their strength lies in numbers. A barrage of Archer missiles can overwhelm enemy defenses, especially against unshielded targets. Originally employed in the mid-25th century, the M42 has a long history of usage across various classes of UNSC vessels. From the CMA Navy's Punit-class supercarriers and Mako-class corvettes, to the UNSC's S-14 base large strike fighters, the M42 has been a reliable choice for a wide range of ships. And it actually increased in usage after the Human Covenant War, becoming a key component in the arsenals of the rebuilding UNSC Navy, including the Trident-class heavy frigate and the Poseidon. The Infinity class was considered the spiritual successor to the Punic, and it had 350 of these Archer pods, with each pod itself containing 24 missiles. Pause to thank Betterhelp for sponsoring this video. Betterhelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With Betterhelp, you can tap into their network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists that can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences when it comes to therapy. That way, Betterhelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's through chat, text, or a video or phone call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule therapy sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch therapists for no additional charge. With Betterhelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you'd expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who's custom-picked for you, there's more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/MetaNerdz. That's betterhelp.com/MetaNerdz. I've also linked them down in the description. Then we have the 20 M870 Rampart point defense guns. These guns are an essential component of the carrier's defensive capabilities, designed to counter the high-speed threat characteristics of space warfare. These are 50mm coil guns, a type of electromagnetic gun that uses magnetic coils to accelerate objects. Since you're in space with no resistance from atmosphere, with the incredibly high velocities involved in space combat, human operators cannot effectively target incoming missiles and space fighters. Therefore, the M870s are typically fully automated, controlled by the ship's artificial intelligence. However, they can be switched to manual operation if necessary. Each Rampart turret consists of either twin or quad-mounted 50mm rapid-fire coil guns, along with a targeting scanner. Variations in the model include some fitted with an armored housing to protect the gun's mechanisms, while others don't have any protection. These can engage incoming threats like strike craft and plasma torpedoes, and they actively switch between different ammunition types, such as sub-caliber armor-piercing sabot and proximity detonation fragmentation shells. Though the M870s are most commonly mounted on lighter vessels, including corvettes and frigates, they've also been used on destroyers and carriers, though not usually found on cruisers and supercarriers. It has a really long service history, with the earliest deployment on the Mako-class corvette in 2388. It was succeeded by the M910 model, beginning service with the Valiant-class super heavy cruiser in 2493. But perhaps due to financial or other practical restraints, the older M870 remained a common fixture throughout the Human Covenant War and early into the mid-26th century. And so even in the post-war era and on a light carrier, they survive on protecting the Poseidon. And it really shows the UNSC's commitment to maintaining a balance of offensive and defensive capabilities in their fleet. Because it has variable ammunition and automated targeting, with enough of them together, you should be able to have a cloud of protection from even large swarms of enemy fire or attack craft. Poseidon does have a very new look. That sleek and elongated cylindrical design represents significant advancements in UNSC naval architecture, being divided into two main sections, both predominantly covered with white plating. The aesthetic choice gives the Poseidon class a distinctive appearance, with the white plating primarily adorning the vessel's dorsal surface. The underside of the ship and a spar connecting the two main sections are notably devoid of this plating and feature a series of rectangular blue lights. At 719 meters in length, or nearly half a mile, it was smaller compared to other carrier classes such as the Orion, Epoch, and Punic. However, what it lacks in size and armament compensates with other strategic advantages. In the aftermath of the war, with shipyards over Mars and Jupiter heavily ravaged, the design of the Poseidon class was optimized for ease of manufacture. This adaptability in production was crucial for quickly replenishing the depleted UNSC fleet, which was a significant benefit in the immediate post-war period, with so many human lives lost, and perhaps a reluctance to join. The smaller crew requirement allowed them to be rapidly pressed into service, and were seen as vital in the recovery efforts starting in 2553. The two specific craft that stand out the most are the UNSC Milwaukee and the lead ship, UNSC Poseidon. Milwaukee was noteworthy for its advanced, reverse-engineered slip space drive, which drastically reduced time travel to mere hours, a remarkable feat in human spacefaring tech. It was uniquely configured without cryo chambers, instead featuring stadium-style seating in a large passenger cabin with a polarizing roof that could turn opaque or transparent. By September 2558, it had been repurposed as a passenger ferry to and from Onyx. As the lead ship of its class, the UNSC Poseidon is a symbol of the class's capabilities, but sadly a lot of details on its exploits and specific configuration still remain highly classified. Additionally, several unnamed Poseidon-class carriers are part of Battle Group Dakota, which alongside Vindication-class light battleships and Trident-class heavy frigates, engaged the Forerunner vessel Mantle's approach during the Didact's attack on Earth on July 25, 2557. This shows that even in major combat operations, they were still formidable against Forerunner tech. In summary, the Poseidon-class light carrier represents a critical component of the UNSC's naval capabilities in the post-Human Covenant War era, balancing ease of production and operational efficiency while still playing effective combat and support roles. And they were crucial in rebuilding and strengthening the UNSC fleet, in a galaxy that never went long without war. As for behind-the-scenes facts, in the Halo 4 level Midnight, several Poseidon-class light carriers are depicted in the background, along with Vindication-class light battleships and Trident-class heavy frigates. These vessels are meant to be viewed from a distance and are not part of the main gameplay area. However, due to a glitch, players can approach and inspect the ships more closely. In the game, these ships are designed as visual elements, brushes, rather than solid objects within the level structure, so you can pass through them without collision when piloting the broadsword. And these in-game models are not representative of their actual sizes as defined by the lore. What's really sad is that the Poseidon and Vindication-class battleship were initially planned to be featured in Halo 4 The Essential Visual Guide, but were omitted due to space limitations. They make their first appearance in Halo 4, and are also mentioned in the novel Halo Legacy of Onyx. Please hit that like button, it's the best way to help me out. Subscribe to see more and check out these videos, I'm sure you'll like them. But most important of all, remember, there's no such thing as the post-war era, and the domain will guide you, always.